Hello.
Oh, I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Live.
Well,
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, fat people's prayers have been answered. And are you ready for the Delta 8 marijuana light drug? And also, are you involved in the Operation Trojan Shield? And cicadas are going from the trees all the way to your plate. All this and much, much more will be discussed here on Deacon Live. How are you? How are things? How are things going? Are you doing okay? Are you getting along with everyone? Is everyone being happy? Is everyone slowly getting back to this world that we're living in? And I was driving down the road the other day. Oh God, I got some stuff on me. I was driving around the road, down the road the other day, and there was like a Sonic, and then a Taco Bell, and then I think like a Burger King or one of those burger chains right next door, and every single one of them had "now hiring" on the sign. And right next door to each other. I mean, like three, bang, 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 right in a row, had "now hiring" on their marquee out there. I'm telling you, folks. I'm telling you that you're gonna get. That well's gonna run dry here soon, and then where are you gonna be? You're gonna be stuck. So I wish you guys out there. I hope you're taking advantage of what's going on. The signing benefits. I know North Carolina just stated that they will give you $1,500 to go back to work. You know, once you get a job and you hold it down for 30 days, you get $1,500. And I think on top of that, you get another $600 after 60 days. That's not including what the restaurants and all these other places are giving you. Do it, people. And here, who am I to say? But granted, my job is to work on the franch. And for those of you who don't know, we have 22 some odd acres. We broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. And we have 22 some odd acres here that has horses and chickens and all the stuff that makes this what we call a franch, part farm, part ranch. And then we have other properties and stuff that we deal with. But that's a full-time job. And this as well, Deacon Live is a full-time job. Not only that, on top of that, I also do another podcast. It's called Is This Going Somewhere? And it's a little darker conversation, so you can check those out as well. Now, I'm done with all the plugging and everything. So I'm in the middle of buying a new truck. And when I say buying a new truck, I have a good friend of mine, Dan, I've known for many, many years. He's going to buy my truck that I have now, my Chevy Silverado. It's that metallic blue. It's the chrome package with the big wheels and the chrome this and all that stuff. And it's a 2011, 2012. I forget what year it is. And he's going to buy it. And so I'm in the process now of buying a new truck. Now, buying a new truck now is not the same as 3 years ago or 2 years ago or even 18 months ago. They are not making, well, let me backtrack. The truck that I want is still a Chevy Silverado. Excuse me, the computer chips, the Chevy that we want has got I think 16 cameras on it. It's got a backup camera, it's got the side camera, it's got the overview camera, it's got the front camera, it's got the, camera in the back so you can look at your kid while he's picking his nose. It's got the camera on the floorboard so you can look at your feet and look at your nasty toenails. It's got all these different cameras. So part of the technical package of the Chevy Silverado is these computer chips, which they've opted to put in TVs instead of vehicles. Why? We're not going anywhere. We'll sit at home and watch TV during the pandemic. Well, unfortunately, those gambles didn't take well, and so now a lot of your vehicles are coming to the showroom floor just basic, engine, wheels, maybe a door. There might be a door missing or two. That'll come in later. But for the most part, we are in the middle of trying to buy a new truck, and we can't find one. They've looked all over, and we go through Hendricks Chevrolet, and they've got 94 locations, and they're one of the largest buyers of Chevy products. And if Hendricks cannot buy from Chevy the truck that we want, then it's not out there. They search all their lot. No, we can't get it. We can't get it, Mr. Deacon. So our option now is we are going to go down and order one straight off the assembly line. I've done it before. I did it a long time ago when I was like 22, 23 years old. I had a fistful of money. I was working at another radio station, and I never saw so much money come across my table. I said, I'm going to buy me a truck. So that's what I did. I went down, ordered my truck. It came across. They delivered it. There's your truck. And at that time, I think it took maybe 6 weeks because they were pumping them out. So the new truck we're going to get, no matter who we call, who we go through, whether it's the Hendricks in Charlotte or Hendricks up here or whatever the dealership is close by us, it's the same thing. It's the same mantra as far as ordering one. Well, it's going to take 20 weeks to get here. Yes, 20 weeks. 20 weeks. And that's the long game. And they might, they might be behind our backs right now, firing up the chip assembly line. We don't know about it, and they're starting to move all these chips into vehicles, so it might be less than 20 weeks. But for us to sit down and wait for a truck to come across the line with maybe what we want on it, it might not have the right towing package. It might not have the right engine. It might not have the right custom package. It might not have the deluxe package. My wife, of course, wants the deluxe package. I don't blame her. Both of us work long and hard for what we have, and we want, when we drive around, we want luxury. And based on what we can afford. I'm not going to go out there and buy a friggin' one of those $200 some odd $1,000 Tesla cars. No, I'm not buying those. I'm buying something that's practical. Luxury and practical all at the same time. So we're going down this weekend to physically sit down with a rep from Chevy and go, okay, click, 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 click. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want this color, this interior, this package, this, these wheels, this sunroof, this, all the what they call the accoutrements, some people would say. And we're going to figure out what price it is, and we'll wait. We'll wait, because right now we've already been waiting 3 weeks since we said the word go, and they still haven't found us the truck. So another 4 weeks go by. Let's go ahead and pull the trigger and say, let's buy a truck, and we'll wait 20 weeks, if not less, if they can pump them out. So I don't know if you're going through that or if you're experiencing that at all as far as trying to buy a truck. Even, you don't see as many Chevy car commercials. You see for the smaller cars, the mid-lane, the mid-level, mid-lane, the entry-level vehicles. You see a lot of commercial for that, but you don't see anything for the higher-end stuff. Even for the expensive cars like Mercedes or Audi, or maybe they're trying to get some of that stuff off the lot, so they might give you an incentive, but what you get is what you get type situation. No, we don't have that one that was on the commercial with the dog with his head out the window. No, we don't have that one. We've got this one. Oh, you want windows on yours. All right, well, you have to wait for those because the window factory is shut down because of the pandemic, so we have to wait for window or just glass in general. Isn't this crazy? Isn't this a crazy world? And now what are they saying with Fauci and everything? That he was lying, not lying, emails, all that stuff. We don't get political here. We don't do that. But I mean, Jesus, someone needs to be held responsible for this. I don't know if it's the previous succession of the president and everything, or the current one that we have now, or things that were happening. They were talking about stuff happening in 2012, 2013. I don't have enough brain power and enough brain room. I don't have enough memory space to sit here and follow. I depend on everyone else. Like you guys depend on me to bring you the good, to bring you the funny. And that's what we do here at DeaconLive. But I don't want to point the finger and say, you're to blame. But there's so many people in this world and this planet that we hold responsible for stuff. How come, shots aren't fired across, the aisles and say, hey, well, that guy is your guy. No, he's not our guy. He's your guy. Well, someone needs to take him because someone let him, break it down in its simplest form. Someone asked him a question. When I say him, I'm talking Fauci. Someone asked Fauci, in as simple as you can form. I'm talking to a 4-year-old. someone asked him, what do you think? And he said, whoa, no one's really asked me that before. Well, I think this. Okay, why do you think this? Well, because of my studies and my knowledge and people I've talked to, this is my conclusion based on the information that I have. Okay, fine. What should we do with it? What should we do with the information that you're telling me right now? And that's his chance. That's the part he should have said, well, Mr. Question Asker, whoever that person is, I am in no condition, I am in no authoritative position to make demands on the general public. I'm telling you, this is the information. Take this information and you guys figure out within your regions and your level of authority of what you need to do with the information I give you. Now, if you want to come back and have me critique it a little bit more, fine, no problem. And then the person, the question asker, or the question asker goes off and they have a little meeting, they have a little caucus, and they talk about it, and then they take that and they run it up the rope, or run it up the ladder, or run it down the street, whatever the term is, and then someone's got to make that decision. The problem is they left it all. I don't know. See, I was thinking he's saying, and another thing, everyone needs to wear, and you've seen the memes, safety belts at all times. And on this day, I declare that 2 masks are better than 1 mask. And then chocolate cake makes you less fat, and smoking makes you more healthy. He just got crazy with all this stuff he was saying. All right, so speaking of crazy, all right, we're going to dive into the show, dive into this crazy show. We got another big show for you, lots planned for you, so stick around throughout the whole entire thing, which is great. We appreciate all you guys. You're listening to Deacon Live. I'll be right back.
Life over death and riches over poverty. No make bad mind people come pull you down like gravity. From me rising at the morning, that means say me rich. Me get a second chance fi do when me wish. Me glad say me dep on the wake up list. So me hug up babes and give her a kiss. Me nah watch them bad mouth, me nah watch critics. Me nah go sell out and you know me nah snitch. Me day up on the journey, you know me nah quit. I hold a 1 mids and a bun a big spliff. Rich in a hell, but me rich in a my pocket. Bricks from bricks, every day man a stack it. Mansion from the hill, get to you, them fi have it. This is a blue man who ya make profit. Work hard for me things, sell some boy no fi watch it. Me nah pre-violence, but mind me have to pop it. Chop. Them no want see you rich and happy. Them do anything in that them put one up to stop it. When me rising in the morning, me know say me rich. Me get a second chance for do what me wish. Me glad say me dep on the wake up list. So me hug up babes and give her a kiss. Me nah watch them bad mouth, me nah watch critics. Me nah go sell out and you know me nah snitch. Me day up on the journey, you know me nah quit. I go and hold a meds and
Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks, and the way you do that is go over to prophetradio.com, Prophet radio. Click on the social contact section, and there's a little drop down there. And you can see all the spots that we're available at, whether it be Facebook or Instagram, and all the different avenues that links us to you and you to us as well. Now, if you're watching us on the video, now I apologize for the video. We've been having some difficulties here. The video's up. And the video usually takes me after we do the podcast, a good 2 days to finish my job and come back up here in the studio where we broadcast out of. We broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. And I come up here and I edit that video. I'm a one-man show. You know, I'm a octopus on steroids, or not octopus on steroids, octopus on speed. Woohoo, woohoo! I'm trying to get everything done. So the video takes probably a couple days after the podcast, but that's okay. That's fine. They're infinite. They're evergreen. You can watch them at any time. Show all your friends. And I look pretty damn good, by the way, on 1080 on your big smart screen TV. And if you're watching this on the video now, see, here's the website. There it is. And then the little drop-down menu. If you're watching this, you can see everything that goes on here in the studio. My monitor and everything's up on your screen. You can see that as well. And there's a little free swag there, and you can do that. Now, speaking of like watching this at any time, Facebook itself, I got into a conversation. I don't want to say it was an argument. I got into a conversation with someone the other day on our Facebook page. And when I say a conversation with someone, it was one-sided. I said something and nothing happened. And I said something again and nothing happened. And it stuck out, and I just wanted to bring it to someone's attention. And so it's a horrible situation that happened. So a friend of ours on the Facebook page, and I know the person. I went to school with this person, and said that their youngest son or oldest son passed away. Oh my God, that's horrible. And, everyone's going, oh my God, hearts and prayers, thoughts and prayers, and all this stuff. And I basically said, oh my God, that's horrible. What happened? Like, what happened? Isn't that kind of like a human interest? So you would say, hey, what happened? Hey, Johnny Smith died the other day. Oh, really? Oh my God. You don't say hearts and prayers. You say, what happened? Now, if the child or Johnny Smith was dying, he was in the hospital for 5 weeks or 5 years or whatever it is, you're like, oh, Johnny Smith died. Oh, did he? Man, good guy. I knew what was happening with him. Yeah, man, that's tough. But when you say, especially a child, when I say a child, 18 and over, everyone's a child. I'm my mom's child. And when you say my child passed away, my oldest child passed away, you go, oh my God, what happened? Tell us about it. Was it a car accident? Was it was he hit by the mob? Does he lead this secret life and something happened? I just asked something simple, because that's just common human interest. Nothing. And I understand. So then she posts something again on the Facebook feed and stuff. And I asked again, hey, I'm really sorry to hear this. What happened? Tell us what happened so we can kind of brings everyone into a smaller circle. Hey, oh my God, he did this or something, Christ, the news is filled with news stories about 6-year-old boys, little children, 6-year-old boys and girls being shot all the time. They don't just say, 6-year-old died today. No, really? Because that's a weird age for a child to die, 6, unless he had something going on. All our news stories that we've had in the last 2 months, road rage, child 14 years old died in a road rage accident because someone was shooting the gun into his car. Oh my God, that's horrible. Let's not do road rage, people. And then there's another one. 12-year-old boy was happy to go to his first day back to school when school gets out, and then a bully punched him in the head, and within hours he died. Instead of just saying, oh, 12-year-old boy went back to school and then died. So, so when I ask, and I got harped on it, a lot of people were instant messaging me, you're heartless, you don't care, you don't do, no, you don't understand. When you post something like that on a public network, a public social page, it's called a social page for a reason. I don't post stuff that I don't want you to ask 50 million questions about. If I want you to ask questions about it, like a human interest story, I'll post it up there. But when you say something like, I need all my prayer warriors to come out, and then that's it, you're like going, why? Am I praying for you to like win the lottery? Oh, if I could only win the lottery. I know what I'll do. I'll post something on Facebook, and all my Christian friends will help me win the lottery. No, I need all my prayer warriors. I can't tell you all the details. Well, then I can't give you my prayers. I can't give you my thoughts or my prayers. So not for nothing, I had that small conversation with someone, and it just kind of, it stuck out. I just didn't realize that I was doing wrong. I thought I was just being a human to another human and asking an interesting, now granted, I know the person just posted it and I asked it right away, but don't post it unless you're willing to talk about it. Hey, we just laid down, whoever, this is what happened, blah, 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 blah. But don't do a whole 911 alert on Facebook and then when someone asks you, like a 911 operator would go, hey, what happened? Give me all the details. Where are you at? Are you okay? That type of stuff. Don't shut down, because there's a interest story out there. I want to know. I want to know what happened. Not that I do that with everyone. I do that with anyone that passes away, and oh my God, or they say, they post something from like 3 years ago. Oh God, I miss him, or we miss her. This is 2 years, your heavenly birthday, and all that. And I go, well, I didn't know. I didn't know this person was gone. Tell me what happened. Tell me what happened with this. Tell me your experience on how this person relates to you, which is great. I want to know that. A human interest story. I want to know what's going on and how this person affected you and what happened. Because I would like to go, oh my God, that's horrible, and then continue on about my day. I don't know. I'm not heartless. I'm not. But I'm just saying that it's just common. It's just a common interest that I have. Not an interest like I go around looking at obituaries and stuff. But I mean, I'm just saying that it's just a normal response for me. I want to know not exactly to the detail. I just want to know, oh my God, that's horrible. What happened? All right, when we come back, I know. Light and fluffy, right? Oh, all right, knocked you down twice. All right, I'll pick you back up. All you fat people out there, you big fat bastards, guess what? You are in luck. And part of it's because of the COVID-19 quote-unquote vaccine that you are going to be able to lose some weight. So when we come back, we'll dive into that. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. welcome back to Deacon Live. And if you'd like to be heard on this podcast or any of the podcasts that we do, if you have any questions about any of the stuff we talk about here on the podcast, you just want to give me your opinion, say, hey, what's up, or I agree with you, or I disagree with you, whatever the case may be, at any time, you can go to prophetradio.com, Prophet radio, and I'll pull it up here on the screen here so you can see. And at the very bottom of the page, there's a little blue bar right here. It says Be Heard. Click on that. Opens up a little microphone. You see this little window. It says Send a voice message and be heard on Deacon Live. Click Start Recording. It sends it right to our inbox, and you can be on the air, whether this podcast or the next podcast or any of the podcasts. We'll play it on the very next podcast as soon as we get your message. So do that right away. Go over to prophetradio.com, click on Be Heard, and you can be part of the show. Hey, look at me, Mom. I'm famous. I'm on radio. Now, this gentleman wants to be famous for, sometimes you hear stories and you're like going, come on, man, really? Honestly, a Houston man launches a crusade against a dishonest Burger King upselling. Glenn Tharp does not want to supersize that, which I think is a McDonald's term, so Lillian Stone needs to figure out how to do her articles. Glenn Tharp does not want to supersize that. Thank you very much. Boy, Karen issue right there. Now, I love Burger King. Born and raised in Florida, born and raised in Central Florida. We've always had Burger King. McDonald's, couldn't stand it, never went to it. I say never went to it, but our family was a Burger King family. Now, there's families out there that are Pepsi-Cola families, and there's families out there that are Coca-Colas or Pop or Sprite or soda or not Sprite, but you know what I'm saying. Certain families have certain things that they stick with. It all started when Glenn Tharp went to order his delicious combo meal from the Houston Burger King. The girl automatically said medium or large. So I said, this is Tharp, I want only a number 6. All right, buddy, you don't know how the world works. And she said again, medium or large with a higher tone. Tharp then said, why couldn't she just ask me if I wanted small also? By failing to mention the small option, Tharp thinks that Burger King is quote-unquote tricking customers in upsizing their order. Do me a favor, first of all, when I go to Burger King, I don't want to have a small anything. We're an American. We like things a lot. We like things that are big. And I want things that are big and a lot of them. And so small is not, unless you got like a 4-year-old in the back and you know that he's going to just waste his fries. You know that he's not, well, first of all, I mean, if you want to split hairs, you're not supposed to be feeding a 4-year-old Burger King. But there are some families that rely on fast food to be delivered to as they're deliver nutrition to their children. So Tharp, Dork, that's what his name is, he said to me, it's not right to do that to a customer. I think it's dishonest. It's the principle about it. The upsell is only 54 cents, but it's the principle, he says. At 5 restaurants, the employees did ask if they wanted small, medium, or large. At 2 locations, employees didn't mention small, asking only if they wanted medium or large. When we replied asking if small was available, the employee said yes. So it's not like, do me a favor. First of all, you big fat ass. Go somewhere. If you want a small something, go eat a salad somewhere else. Don't go to Burger King and ask for a small. I'm just saying. So this guy, he's trying to raise a class action lawsuit against Burger King. That's probably just going to go right down, quote unquote, pardon the pun, by the wayside. Now, all of us out there who are struggling to lose, well, let's do it this way. Because of the pandemic and everyone's out there now going back to the gym, I got to drop down. I got to lose, 15, 20 pounds. I got to lose, 10, 20 pounds. The COVID-19 is what everyone says. So everyone's going out there and doing it. There's a good friend of mine. His name's David. I see him even on Sunday morning. I'm like, dude, I just finished breakfast and you're posting pictures of you in the gym? Give me a break. But he's doing it, man, and hats off to him. a lot of people out there are getting back into the gyms. But for those people who need to lose more than, 10 to 15 pounds, some people need to lose 50 pounds. Some people need to lose 60 pounds. There is a new drug out there. Let me make sure I got it. That the FDA just approved a new drug to fight obesity. Is this playing? Just going to do an ad. America now has a new weapon to fight obesity. The FDA now approved this past Friday a new weight loss drug. It's called Wegovy, Wegovy, for people who are either obese or overweight. I think that's basically the same thing. It's like fine and dandy. And have at least one overweight-related medical problem. Now, we think about obesity differently than we think about like hypertension, high cholesterol, and diabetes. So this right here is actually being released. People who require 10 to 15 to 20% weight loss, go away. Dr. Domenica Rubino said that people are taking existing obesity medicine to lose an average between 7 and 9% of their body weight. But people that require 10 to 15 to 20% weight loss need a little bit more extra tools. Excuse me. During a 16-month study, patients with Wegovy lost an average of 17% of their body weight. Side effects include, of course, diarrhea, nausea, because your body doesn't want this stuff in its system, but it does, which usually resolves as the dose was slowly increased. So what happened is there was a medicine. Let's see what the actual medicine's called. The medicine for diabetes, treating diabetes, is called fucking fly. You're dead. It's called Ozempic, I guess. And the dose that they normally give you is like 1.2 grams or 1.2 milliliters. Now, they realized that when they increased that dose and they add a little bit to it, they created Wegovy. And now, when you take this drug that was anticipated or intended for diabetes patients, people were losing a lot of weight. Here's for more details. Here we go with more details. Oops. Can you open up, please? Here we go.
Now to what's being called a game-changing drug in the fight against obesity. More than 40% of American adults are obese, and many also have chronic health problems such as diabetes, high blood pressure, or high cholesterol. We get more now from CBS's Dr. John LaPook.
America has a new weapon in the fight against obesity. The new drug, Wegovy, is approved for people who are either obese or overweight with at least one weight-related medical problem.
We have to think about obesity no different than hypertension, than high cholesterol, than diabetes.
Dr. Domenica Rubino says weight loss from current obesity medications averages about 7 to 9% of body weight.
People who require 10%, 15%, 20% weight loss, we need tools.
During a 16-month study, patients on Wegovy lost on average 17% of body weight. Side effects included diarrhea and nausea, which usually resolved as the dose was slowly increased. Patients taken off the drug gained back more than half their weight loss.
I did everything from fad diets to anything that I thought would work.
Lisa Robillard was a trial participant. She lost 63 pounds.
I wasn't hungry between meals, which was just unheard of for me. I was fuller quicker, and cravings that I had disappeared.
Wegovy is similar to the diabetes drug Ozempic, which is already being prescribed off-label for weight loss. Both mimic a natural hormone that helps regulate appetite.
These hormones actually affect signals in the brain. It really just doesn't come down to willpower. It's much more complicated. This physiology is very strong, and it is not your fault.
Nora, the drug is approved for long-term use, and it's important that it's part of a weight loss program that includes, yes, diet and exercise.
Dr. LaPook, thank you.
So there you go. It's not a cure-all, but I mean, for the most part, I used to take, I know this sounds really bad, I used to take ephedra or mini-thins, like over the counter, when ephedra or ephedrine was popular. And then a couple baseball players in the late 90s started having heart attacks and stuff, and they started yanking those off. I'll tell you what, man, I have never been in better shape in my whole entire life. I'd go to the gym, I'd work out for 2 to 3 hours at a time. Not 2 to 3 hours, let's not get carried away. I'd work out for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. I'd ride my bike everywhere I went, but I was in great physical shape. And then they removed ephedrine or ephedra, whatever the more potent product is, and I'm still on a quest for that high. It's not a high, but for that energy. And maybe this is a great thing to have. You know, just I don't know it. It's not a hormone shot, but it helps with your brain to fire off stabilizers in your appetite. So I hope that goes well for all you people out there, and I hope it's an answer. If not an answer, it's somewhat of a solution or a stepping stone into getting healthier and a better life. All right. When we come back, mentally, we need to get into a better life. With being locked inside of our houses for so long, and now we're slowly getting out there. You've seen it on the news. A lot more people are going crazy. Just in air flights or airplanes alone. There's so many people just getting like belligerent on airplanes. You know what? We all just need to chill the fuck out. And marijuana is not legal in all states, but there's a loophole that's out there that might give you the same high without having to get a prescription, and you can buy it right over the counter. Stick around. We'll dive into that here when we come back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want something for free? Of course you do. Everyone wants something for free. And we here at Deacon Live are giving away a bunch of free sticker packets. Go over to Prophet Radio. That's PROPHET Radio. Click on the social contacts, and there's a little drop-down box there. It says free swag. And there's a couple sticker packets, some magnet packets up there. Click on that. Fill out the form. We'll mail it out to you. U.S. only. Sorry. For now, I know we try to get a big bulk sent out to our overseas people, our overseas listeners. We like to collect about a 500 to 1,000 at a time, and we send those out about once a month. So those take a little bit longer to get out to you, and I apologize. So there you go. Click out that. I'm not gonna do anything with the email address. I've said that a million times on a one-man show here, and you know that. So believe me, I'm not selling your information to anyone. I just want to send you some free stuff. Now, getting something for free is, there's a catch somewhere. Nothing's for free. But some states, they're trying to get you to take the coronavirus. They're trying to get you the virus itself, but the actual vaccine. Some states are giving away $1 million to 5 lucky people, and I think Florida, they're giving away $10 Amazon cards. I think they were giving away like weather radios at one time. I'm Florida born and raised, and I live now up here in the Carolinas. We actually broadcast just outside of Charlotte in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. Population, I think 20. I think we gained a couple of people, so 2,600. It's not my fault we gained them, but they're here. But they're building up all over the place here in our little town. So states are trying to get in. Now, think about it this way. All right, dive into my little world here. And, we try to be as non-political as possible. We try to be as non-negative as, not negative, but, you understand what I'm saying. So the president said that we want everyone to be up to 70% by the 4th of July weekend. Okay, that's fine. And you sit there. If an employer said to you, we want you to be 70% compliant by 4th of July weekend. Now, if you're in a big business or a corporation, you sit there and go, okay, that's great. What's my incentive? What's my incentive to do that? Sir, ma'am, us, them, whatever the binary stuff that you're not allowed to call people or you have to call them now. Well, if you do that, there's something we'll give you at the end of the day. So in my opinion, our president is saying that, hey, I want to be 70%. If the whole entire United States is up to 70% by 4th of July, something's going to happen. There's something in the woodworks that we don't know about that's happening behind the scenes. Like, does every state get a new theme park? Does every state get a $5 billion tax credit or whatever? I don't know. But something's not right there because there's no incentive from the government other than telling the states, hey, everyone needs to be up to 70%. So the states are now going, okay, you break out in your little groups. The big boss has said, we want to be 70% compliant in all fields. All right, so you break out in your little groups in this corporate office, corporate talk here, and everyone has to come up with their own little groups to figure out how to make everyone 70%. Well, your group's better than anyone else. So your group likes to watch cartoons a lot. Well, guess what? We'll give you 100 days of, I'm just speculating here, we'll give you 100 free days of cartoons and you can watch them all day long on your breaks. All right, that's great incentive. I'll do it. 70%, good. We're up. So states are now saying, they were giving away $1 million. In Missouri, I believe. Florida was giving away friggin' weather radios. What, our cell phones aren't good enough for you? They already give us weather updates. All you have to do is sign up for it. Washington State themselves just announced, because marijuana is legal up there, because they've got brains. This is Washington State now. Just announced joints for jabs, which I hate when they say jabs because that sounds like it sounds like you're being stabbed. It's a program to encourage vaccinations from Olympia, Washington, in an effort to get more of its population vaccinated against COVID-19. Officials in Washington on Monday announced they are approved a plan temporarily allowing cannabis stores to offer joints for jabs. I know. Until July 12th, which is, of course, after the 4th of July weekend, cannabis retailers in Washington will be allowed to offer adults over the age of 21 a joint exchange for getting their vaccinated at an in-store vaccination clinic. The Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board said this past Monday. Officials stressed that retailers were only approved to give out one single pre-rolled joint. Now, joint is a slang term. I don't know. I guess it's now a popular term for what an actual... I thought it was a marijuana cigarette. They're calling it a joint. People who get the vaccinations in store, not other cannabis products. So you only get one joint if you get jabbed one time. So that's what Washington State is doing, which is, that's great. Agency's officials said the decision came after receiving multiple requests from cannabis retailers licensed to engage in promotions and support the state's vaccination efforts. So they're probably getting a kickback as well. Governor Jay Inslee previously announced a series of giveaways aimed to encourage vaccine-hesitant Americans to get their shots, including weekly cash drawings of $250,000 and $1 million drawings to take place in July. Just like Minnesota State. So, I mean, is that enough? Is that enough for you to go get your vaccine, I guess? You want to join? Well, you're already getting it. Most of the times, you're getting it for free. If you're not getting it for free, you're only getting... It's like going to... What's the trade-off on that? I always think about what the trade-off is. So, let's say you sign up for something, and you get a free... You sign up for a credit card. Well, I need a credit card. Well, do you need a credit card? I don't need it. I want it. I'll take it. And then, they used to do it a lot of times when you have like art festivals and stuff. And then you have, like a Visa or MasterCard Plus or something like that. And you sign up and then they go, okay, pick from any gift you want on the table. And it's always like an umbrella, a koozie, a couple stickers, something like that. That's what you get, right? It's almost the same thing as what the states are doing. Now, some of the states out there, excuse me, including North Carolina, there is a loophole in the federal farm bill that allows over-the-counter marijuana to be sold. When I say marijuana, hemp. Now, I know you say, well, you can't get high off hemp, but there's stipulations. So here in North Carolina, we have a lot of CBD places, and that's Canadol? I forget what the name is. It's an extract. It's not supposed to get you high. But getting high off hemp, these are one of the new popular strains that get you high like marijuana, and it's totally legal due to a loophole in the federal farm bill. However, many are wondering if Delta 8 is here to stay. When the Farm Bill passed in 2018, it came to certain restrictions on hemp. For more information, we're going to go right here.
Popular new strain that gets you high like marijuana, and it's totally legal.
Now, for every podcast we do, we also have a matching video as well. And the way you do that is go to prophetradio.com, PROPHET radio. Click on DeaconLive, and you can see We have an audio section and a video section as well. Gets everyone together, gets everyone active and involved as well. So here we go.
To a loophole in the federal farm bill, and that leaves many hemp users wondering if Delta 8 is here to stay. Fox 46's Will Lewis joins us live in the newsroom tonight. And Will, not everyone is on board with this new strain.
Well, that's right, Brian. When the farm bill passed in 2018, there were certain restrictions regarding hemp products. Now, all products must have no more than 0.3% of THC, the thing that gets you high. But now farmers have found a way around it, and at least one organization is looking to regulate or stop sales.
It looks like marijuana, and it even gives you the high of marijuana. But Delta 8 is known as marijuana light in the industry.
Delta 8's right in the middle of regular THC and CBD. And the reason I say that is because they're saying that it's about 2/3 of the potency of regular Delta 9 THC.
Currently, Delta 9 cannabis is illegal in North and South Carolina. However, in 2018, the federal farm bill was signed into law by then President Donald Trump. The U.S. Hemp Roundtable helped shape the legislation and knew many in Congress were not in favor of legalizing marijuana.
Now, just to let you know, he signed that bill to help our national farmers. Our farmers was a dying industry. So he signed up the hemp bill to help our farmers, rotate from crops that we were outsourcing to other countries to keep them in business here in the United States. So
across the nation.
But they were willing to legalize hemp. And because we made clear to them that hemp was not intoxicating.
That argument is now going up in smoke with Delta 8 on the market. It started a few months before the COVID pandemic.
Everybody I know has heard about it and has, either tried it or thought about trying it.
Keegan Brennan tried Delta 8 during quarantine. He says his anxiety was high and CBD was not enough relief. Plus, they were selling Delta 8 at his local CBD stores.
Like, you can actually feel it when you do Delta 8 versus like CBD. I just felt like CBD is more of just like you may get like a head rush if you smoke it, just like you would smoking anything else.
I had a 60-year-old guy in here just a few minutes ago. I had a 40-year-old mom and her daughter come in a little bit ago. Like, there are people definitely trying to turn to cannabis for health and wellness, for sure.
More people looking for the legal green means a lot more green for stores like DeaconLive Remedies.
We've doubled and tripled over the last 2 months as far as number of customers and sales generated.
Owner Matt Hauser was leery about giving people another alternative medicine because of the synthesized nature of how Delta 8 was manufactured. Before he decided to sell it, he vetted the product, companies, and provides customers with a sheet showing how it is made.
I feel as though it's very important to know and be transparent about what we're doing, how we're doing it, and providing that information to people.
Well, people are rushing out to try Delta 8.
You knew that products that were less than 0.3% weren't going to get you high. None of us at the time were aware of Delta 8.
There are plenty rolling up their sleeves to stop or at least regulate the sale of the product.
People have been using this loophole to try to sell intoxicating Delta 8 and claiming that it's hemp. And that's the kind of loophole that we're trying to quash.
The U.S. Roundtable is working with legislators in Raleigh to make the North Carolina Department of Agriculture the department to regulate hemp products. It could mean full restriction or the product only being sold in dispensaries.
We just don't want to see this proliferation of intoxicating products in gas stations and grocery stores and other places where it's too often common these days.
The goal of the roundtable is to get something passed before the end of the session, which means those lighting up and selling Delta 8 will be watching.
Starting to, in other states, start to pull products. So
I'm sorry, I believe this guy who's the owner or whatever he does, works at DeaconLive Remedies, more than I do this doctor sitting behind a desk doing this little phone call interview. Because he's got the guy at DeaconLive, he's like, I got all the material. This is where it comes from. This is what happens. I can tell you all the ins and outs. The other guy's like going, well, they snuck one by us. Damn it. We have to fix that. We don't want it to end up in Walmart shopping or something. No, you put a stipulation, you put a rule, you put a boundary on it. Walmart doesn't sell CBD. Walmart then now cannot sell this Delta 8 at the same time. You've already got rules in place. Stop trying to squash stuff.
I don't know what the outcome is going to be. My hope is that regulations step in some way, shape, or form. I think that's what the industry needs.
Now, 11 states have already banned Delta 8 across the nation. For now, you can get it here in North Carolina, but there is legislation on the floor, so we don't know if those regulations, if or when those regulations will change.
So, Will, is this new strain only in smokable form?
Well, no, and that's what worries the U.S. Roundtable, because you can get this in edibles and you can get it in creams, and they want to make sure that minors can't get their hands on it by going to convenience stores.
It's just like alcohol. What are you, an idiot?
Gas stations.
Yeah, a lot of controversy swirling around the Delta 8. We'll see where this goes with all the legislation.
Yeah, you're a genius. All right, so there you go. Delta 8. It's available out there. If you've got it, if you've had it before, do me a favor. Take some pictures of it and send it to us here. And the way you do that is send us an email at any time at deacon@profitradio.com. That's DEACON @profitradio.com. I want to see if you have a Delta 8. If you've had, tell us about it. Go to Be Heard as well on the Prophet Radio website. I don't know. Maybe that's what, I mean, between the weight loss stuff that's coming out, that's got all these side effects and stuff, maybe Delta 8 is one of those that'll help you mentally not to, or just to relax or not to eat as much or do whatever your anxiety makes you do. All right, when we come back, are you part of the Trojan Shield? Well, I hope and pray that our listeners are not part of this, and I'll dive into the details because it's supported by the FBI. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
Young Dior.
Hey Bart, what you doing?
It goes at the tone, hoping you come around. Just let me know when it hits the flow, on the flow. Maybe we'll work it out. Just let me know how it end up goes at the tone. Hoping you come around. Just let me know when it hits the flow, on the flow. Maybe we'll work it out. Just let me know how it end up goes at the tone. Hoping you come around. Just let me know when it hits the flow, on the flow. Maybe we'll work it out. Let me know at the end of the tone. Hoping you come around. Just let me know when it hits the flow, at the flow. Maybe we'll work it out. Every single day I wake up on, wish I was still asleep, cause I thought of you and me. I don't wanna sound like a creep, but he got me on your feet, and I'm starting to feel beneath. Comparing me 6 feet deep to see him, and it's not me. You might as well just come and body me. Oh, ocean eyes, won't you see? Hoping you come around. Just let me know when it hits the flow, on the flow. Maybe we'll work it out. Just let me know when it goes at the throne. Maybe you come around. Just let me know how it goes at the throne. Let me know how it hits the flow, on the flow. Maybe you come around. Just let me know when it hits the flow, on the flow. Maybe we'll work it out. Just let me know when it end up goes at the tone. Hoping you come around. Just let me know when it hits the flow, on the flow. Maybe we'll work it
What's up, baby? Yeah, K-E-E-B-E-Z, baby. Yeah, in your ball week.
Yeah, life can be whatever it is, no front. You on the team, jump in the whip so we can stunt. We can sit back, roll up Cali flavors up in the blunt. Always rock with you, baby, cause you're my favorite one. You're my favorite one, favorite one, favorite one. You're my favorite one, favorite one, favorite one. Need a rider, baby, that'll ride for me. Whatever the outcome, do or die for me. Don't disappear in a bottle like a genie. Grant me my wish every time I'm needy. Yeah, my woman times 3. Superwoman like Mo. Whenever it's time to slide, she ready to go. Butters herself down, she step out with that glow. Tape herself down, she come back with that blow. Rock with me at any show, cause she know the deal. Bring all her friends with her to rock with the real. Rock a chain with my name while we ship champagne. Stay in her lane and keep the D hard like a wood grain. She like big things, yep I got big things. Hit the note with my boat every time we rock, man. Make me feel good while I'm in the fast lane. She untamed, be loving the way she giving me brain. Yeah, life can be whatever it is, no front. You on the team, jump in the whip so we can stunt. We can sit back, roll up Cali flavors up in the blunt. Always rock with you, baby, cause you're my favorite one. You're my favorite one, favorite one, favorite one. You're my favorite one, favorite one, favorite one. I hear you calling, baby. Want the real, want me to come through, play down a pole of steel. Want me to open my heart, lower my shield. Want me to comfort you, tell ya how I feel. Wanting to heal, but it's been a lonely road. Traveling down this path in this world so cold. Sometimes I feel like it's icicles on my soul. Wanting to say yes, but I'm so used to saying now we're being poor, work hard as I can. Wanna get closer, show you more than a fan. Take the pressure off my back as I travel the land. Show I wouldn't want for nothing up in your hands. Hope you understand. I ain't a chicken dinner. Certified hustler, certified winner. Keep the puss juicy and gushy so I can enter. You my favorite one, baby, for real. No pretend. You my favorite. What's up, baby? Yeah, you know you my favorite one, baby. I call you every night after the show, baby. Yeah, fly out here, baby. Just to let this shit start. Every time I come to your city, you know what time it is. Every time you come to my city, you know what time it is. We turn up, baby, that's what we do, we turn up. Yeah, smoke good, drink good, fuck good. Yeah, too many goods to be letting that go. Yeah, domestic, baby, love that thing. Yeah, get it, baby, all day, every day, baby. Yeah, get on that thing, ride that thing, make that thing feel good, baby. You know, only person that can make it feel that good, baby. I'm telling you, yeah, you my only one, baby. Tell you you're my only one for a reason, baby, cause you is for sure that, you know what I'm saying? We gonna take this all the way, me and you, baby, let's go, baby, team us, let's go, baby, let's get it, baby, let's get it.
Welcome back to Deacon Live. Don't forget all the musical artists that you hear on our station during the Deacon Live podcast. They're all independently owned, independently unsigned artists, and make sure you show them some love and support. And the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET, and you can see all the artists that we have on the right-hand side of the page, and show them some love and some support as well. I know a lot of bands out there. Great music. Every time one comes across my desk, I'm so in awe as far as how well these bands are produced. And I'm sure you guys are feeling that as well. And they would love to hear from you and show them some love. Now, this guy right here wasn't getting any love when someone stole his leg. You heard me right. A customized prosthetic leg worth $15,000 was stolen from a man who was hit by a car and critically injured in St. Pete, Florida, this past Monday night. it has actually been returned. So here's the deal. The crash happened about 10 p.m. on Monday night. Police said that 49-year-old Christopher Allen Harris was walking across a crosswalk when he was hit by an Infiniti G35 driven by a 21-year-old man. Rat bastard. Harris suffered life-threatening injuries and was taken to the Bayfront Health Center in critical condition. Police said the impact of the crash knocked Harris's prosthetic leg off. The leg hit another vehicle. It's like a movie. It's like a cartoon capers here. It hit another vehicle that was heading east. Can you imagine that? This leg comes, you're driving. Ah! Here comes a leg. A spokesperson for the police department says both drivers stopped and are cooperating with the investigation. According to the police department, the prosthetic leg was stolen before the officers arrived on the scene. The leg is customized with Marvel artwork valued at over $15,000. So look at it. So it looks like it's above or right by the knee. I don't know what the term is. I forget the terms that they use in The Fugitive. He's got a prosthetic leg up by his knee, and it has like all it's like a big tattoo. It's like a tattoo. If you've ever seen anyone have a sleeve, he's got all the artwork on it. I'm sure he had it professionally done. Well, the police sent out an update around 3:45 this past Tuesday saying the leg has been located. After widespread social media coverage and missing prosthetic leg, someone called in and told us where to find it. They just threw it in the woods and said, we're out of here. They found the leg behind a laundromat, hidden amongst some discarded items, of course, and the leg was returned to Harris's wife. So there you go. Can you imagine that? You've got a leg with all the comic book characters on it from the Marvel universe, and you're a big fan of that, and then all of a sudden you get hit for one thing crossing the road by some jackass, and then your leg goes flying off and it goes off into can you imagine if the police showed up? Oh my God, they ripped your leg off. No, it's not my I was already missing the leg. Whew. First day, first shift on the job. Oh my God. Whew. I thought they ripped your leg off. I was not prepared to handle that. Now, a lot of people out there are not prepared to handle this. Now, authorities in Australia, New Zealand, and the USA, and in cooperation with Europe, said Tuesday they have dealt with a huge blow of organization crimes after hundreds and hundreds of criminals were tricked into using this message app that was secretly run by the FBI. So there's an app called Anom, A-N-O-M, that was sent out to about 12,000 people, just at random. Hey, check this app out. You can use it. It's totally anonymous, and then you can, text and do all your stuff, and no one can trace it. It's untraceable. It's kind of like Bitcoin. It's untraceable. So the 12,000 spread to 450,000, 450,000 spread to whatever, across the whole entire planet. Well, the app was part of a worldwide sting called Operation Trojan, which was led by the FBI. It also involved the Drug Enforcement Administration, European Union, Interpol, and law enforcement agencies of more than a dozen countries. For more information, we go to this.
Thank you for joining us. We are going to begin tonight with the arrests of hundreds of international drug smugglers, weapons dealers, and contract killers in what may be the largest and most sophisticated criminal investigation in history. Now, the scope of the operation is staggering. A 3-year-long worldwide effort to eavesdrop on the most dangerous criminal organizations using cell phones loaded with an encrypted messaging app developed by the FBI. Investigators say the criminals thought they were evading police, but in reality, they were unwittingly sharing their plans with a secret coalition of law enforcement agencies. The FBI says the sting disrupted dozens of planned killings and took tons of drugs and hundreds of guns off the streets. And tonight, police across the globe are still vacuuming up suspects and filing charges in more than a dozen countries. CBS's Jeff Pegues is at the Justice Department tonight, is going to lead off our coverage. Good evening, Jeff. What an operation this was.
It certainly was, Nora. The FBI taking a page out of Silicon Valley's playbook by designing an app. But in this case, that app turned out to be the trap that agents used to bring down numerous criminal organizations. The global police dragnet was still sweeping up suspects in the hours before investigators went public with Operation Trojan Shield. It was a colossal takedown that included seizures of luxury cars, motorcycles, and drugs which were concealed in everything from shipments of pineapples to cans of tuna fish. All made possible by devices loaded with software, specifically created by the FBI to lure suspects from the shadows.
The very devices that the criminals used to hide their crimes were actually a beacon for law enforcement.
The program was called Anam, and according to investigators, it was distributed to 12,000 users in about 100 countries.
The amount of intelligence that we received was staggering.
Law enforcement intercepted more than 27 million messages, the vast majority related to criminal activity like drug trafficking and murder plots. The operation led to at least 800 arrests and netted investigators 8 tons of cocaine, more than 250 firearms, and $48 million in cash and cryptocurrency. Money that was allegedly flowing through the pockets of Italian organized crime, outlaw motorcycle gangs, and international drug trafficking organizations.
In the future, too, we will continue unabated to track down and dismantle criminal organizations.
There is a reason why the operation was shut down now. Online, people appear to be getting the suspicion that something wasn't right with this app and that perhaps law enforcement was monitoring the communication. And for the FBI and police, that was the signal to move in and make all of these arrests. Nora.
So there you go. I mean, the FBI created something. Oh, that's an invasion of privacy. Hold on a minute. What do you think we're doing? What, not we here at Deacon but I mean, when you sign on to Facebook, I saw commercials on Hulu the other day. It says, I was born in 96. And now I didn't get my first Facebook page until in 2007 when I was in whatever grade. And now I'm this years old. So do you think our terms and limits should be changed based on our reality? And it's a preach to the audience that Facebook says, hey, we're changing our terms and limits, and they're running commercials on Hulu. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not, but I mean, come on. Facebook's like, we're still your friends. Come on in. We have nice hot cocoa for you. We're good. We're changing the terms just a little bit. But hey, look at little Tommy over here. He was born in 96. His whole life has been on the internet. So why, if he's okay with his whole entire life being on the internet, you should too. Click here to agree. So that's what's happening. So be careful out there when you download those stupid apps. Read the terms. I'm never going to read the terms. I know you're never going to read the terms. Either these knuckleheads, I think it was more European, a takedown because here in the United States, we have everyone in the United States is, freedom of this and freedom of that. I don't think they're going to pull a whole bunch of people down. But overseas, when they say the Italian people, they're going to take all those guys down. So there you go. That was Anam app where they were texting back and forth. I don't understand why they don't just use burner phones and text back and forth with codes and stuff. I want 3 roses instead of 4 roses. Maybe that's another story for another time. All right, so cicadas have come out of the ground, and they are coming out of the ground and going on your dinner plate. And we'll dive into that here when we come back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio. Click on the social contacts, and while you're there, don't forget, for every podcast we do, we also have a matching video, podcast video, however you want to rearrange those words. You can see us here in the studio. Hello. I got like 15 cameras up here, and during the show we take different breaks or different angles, and you can see the computer monitor as we're talking about things here live at one time. And I look good on the big screen. We have 100 and some odd, I know, baller, right? We have 100 and some odd inch flat screen TV in our big movie room there, and sometimes when my wife's not looking, I'll punch up the Deacon Live video. She's like, "Oh my God, your head's so big." And I'm like, I know. In more ways than one. My head's big because I want to watch myself, and watch myself because I'm up on the big screen. Now, with the new year and the pandemic and everything, one more thing that we've added to our plate, literally, pun intended, is cicadas. A lot of cicadas, if you don't know what they are, they're bugs that live in the ground, and they live in the ground for 17 years, and then they come back. And then they come back, and they just cause a nuisance. They've caused car crashes after driving, or drivers have, driving around with their windows down. The bug smashes in their face. Bam! The president's plane was actually taken down, not taken down, but had some mechanical issues because cicadas got up into the engine, got up all in the engine and stuff. Got up all into the engine and caused some problems. They had to land that plane too. But right now, families are having problems in the Middle East areas here in the United States because of cicadas. Now, they don't do any harm. They don't really do anything. Their whole entire life process is to be born, like us, travel, find a mate, and then die. And that's all they do. They don't eat any leaves. They might pee on a couple things. They might land on the president's neck and he freaks out. But for the most part, it's the circle of life. So cicadas are actually being served up on as a meal or delicatessen. For more information on that, we'll go to this article right here.
Your mission, mating in the trees to produce the next generation, while trying to avoid getting eaten by a bird before they do it.
Truly a majestic existence.
Are you sure you're a scientist at the USDA?
Dr. Bugs isn't the only one enjoying cicada mania. These odd-looking insects are inspiring art, fashion, and music. A brewery in Virginia created a cicada beer and named it Brood X.
No cicadas were harmed in the making of this beer.
Which is perfect for washing down a crunchy cicada taco.
So good.
You'd expect the guy wearing this to enjoy eating that. But at this restaurant in Leesburg, Virginia, they're selling 30 orders of cicada tacos every day.
About 50% of those that come in order a second round of tacos.
Tobias Padavano is the chef.
Those look tasty. I do see little cicada eyes looking at me.
Yeah, they're gonna look at you. They'll judge you.
And then it was time for my first
Bon appetit.
Bug bite.
Crunchy, nutty. It's pretty good. So our anchor Gail King really wants to eat some cicadas.
Okay.
Can you send her a couple of these?
Oh, most definitely.
Unfortunately, after waiting 17 years, the cicada's moment of glory is fleeting.
They are here for a good time, not a long time.
Dr. Bug says both the males and the females will die off after mating. The eggs the females lay in the trees will fall to the ground, and the 17-year cycle starts all over.
Are you going to be sad to see them go?
Ben, I cannot describe to you just the sense of dread that is already in my heart, knowing that I am not going to be able to experience this again until I am in my 40s.
That's perspective. And so we soon say farewell to Brood 10. We'll see you in 2038. For CBS This Morning, Ben Tracy, Washington.
Ben Tracy,
So I don't know how they're cooking up the cicadas. I mean, they have to go through the USDA in order for it to be sold to the public. Dr. Bugs, that was on that article there, he's from the USDA, so I don't know if they get him shipped in or what's happening, but they're doing cicada beer and cicada tacos. What do they say? Chocolate ants? They have chocolate ants somewhere. And they got worms, chocolate-covered worms or salted worms. I don't know. Cicadas might be the thing. And it might be a delicacy. You know, it's once every 17 years. So, I don't know. I would eat it. I would try it. And I'd like to hear from you if you would try it as well. And the way you get to me is go to prophetradio.com, click on the Be Heard section down the very bottom. It's a little blue bar, opens up a microphone. Speak right into the microphone. Nice and clear, no background noise, and it shoots it right to our inbox, and we'll play it on the very next podcast. No matter what podcast you're listening to us now, we'll play it on the very next podcast. I'm famous. All right, speaking of being famous, guys, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for listening to us, downloading us, and being a part of our show. We appreciate each and every one of you. I'll let you guys get back to what you got to do. My name is the Deacon saying good night, and good night.
Wait, come back. This is the absolute end.
Écoute-moi.
Beep, 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 boop. Skater.